Hi guys, it's Belle here, and I'm coming on to share with you my next Release the Crafting Design Team project using Priscilla's Witch of the Woods digital kit. I will leave the links to Priscilla's Etsy where you can pick this up. I've also used some bits and pieces from their Goddess of the Forest kit that's also on their Etsy, as well as some of their great outdoors digital word snippets in here. But the design team project itself was working with the Witch of the Woods kit. I loved this kit. This is just a beautiful, beautiful kit. Browns, greens, a touch of red here and there. You can see the side. It wouldn't be a bell journal without lots of fabric, would it? This is the cover. This is one of the ephemera pieces from the Witch of the Woods kit, which I just loved. This mushroom hat as well. Oh, this fabric that I've used on this journal, you can see there's snails and mushrooms. They are also in the kit. There's flowers and leaves, but listen, this is like a jersey, almost cotton fabric. It's so soft. It's really just beautifully soft. I've used a flocked embellishment here, stitched around, varnished the front, done a little collection of, there's a feather here that I've used lots of inks and stuff on, some flowers, these little berries on here to match the berries in the journal itself. As you will know if you've been following me for a while, I name all my journals. This one's got a slightly different kind of name. This is Nemi, short for Nemetona, I believe her name is, and that is the goddess of the sacred groves. And I like to think that this journal is used by maybe devotees, followers, priestesses of this goddess. So they work in the woods, they live in the woods, they live this peaceful life, they tend to all the trees and the creatures and the magical beings there, and they look after the goddess's sacred trees in her groves in the woods, and that's what I like to think this journal is. So inside you can see it's a hardback journal. There are two signatures. I've used this sort of ecru canvas stitched around in brown thread. This is one of the first pages. I just love this witch person here. I love the colors used in this, and well, you'll know how I love Priscilla's kits. Lots of different fabrics, some beads here, and I've used like an antique copper bulb pin on some of them. This is vintage from some vintage jewelry that used to be mine. So there's the name tag, which will be in all of them with my little stamp. And these are some of the Great Outdoors digital word snippets. So this one says, a haunted forest, one who loves the forest and its beauty and solitude. Got some handmade paper here with some petals in it. I use, these are the Tim Holtz feathers. I picked these up in a haul last year, and I just use lots of the oxide sprays as well as some paint, so they're all unique. There's a wax seal there, and here we go, another one of the word snippets. This is one of the ephemera pieces. Again, most, well, all of them are backed and most are stenciled or have a stamp or something on them. A little Tim Holtz piece, a bird. And there were some envelopes, I believe, in the actual kit itself. So Priscilla often does her kits in two sections, one with the pages, one with the ephemera. And I think this was one of the pieces of ephemera, one of the little envelopes. And I've printed out the envelopes. You can see the little snail there, I'm hoping. I've printed out a lot of the envelopes on vellum. You can see like the light through that. And then there's just a little piece of paper in there. There's some parchment paper that I used all my inking and stuff on. And I've used some gilding wax, gold gilding wax there. some stenciling, envelope pockets. So the thing about this is you can see I've actually put dried leaves in here. I love these ones. These green and red. Use a little rub on. A little journaling card here stamped on, and that fits into the front pocket, so it's a double pocket, so you can see the hand through the window, which I thought was quite cute. Another piece, and there's another one of those leaves that you can see. It's got some paint and stuff on them. Fabric pieces. This is from a vintage book. We've got the mushrooms, some leaves on there. Again, lots of mushrooms and snails. These one of the little words that comes with the kit. There's the vintage book page there. This was what they always called, Project Life card, postcard thing. So I've put a stamp on it, and then I've decorated with both of these are vintage book pages, and so is this. Then we've got just a little leaf in the background. Again, lots of vintage, lots of hand-dyed pieces, the trim, the beautiful paper, more stenciling. This is vintage. I've used more of the words here. This one says, excuse me if I can't pronounce this right, Corumbi, sunlight filtering through the trees. Oh, I just thought that was beautiful. And again, we've got a parchment paper that's been inked on pocket, but I've left some of it rough at the edge there. I like that. This is flocked. Just listen. Just love the sound. There are a couple of, what are they called? File folders. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? And then most of the ephemera, I've used lots of different scraps of paper, because I kind of thought if you're in the forest, you're grabbing what's nearby. You're not necessarily just getting perfect pieces all the time. So some more beads. There's a wooden bead there as well. Lots of threads, wooden embellishment there that's been inked. Vintage music paper. This one says skylark, because I thought, you know, in the woods, and there are birds. And then we've got another one of the words. Got a pocket here. This is one of the envelopes that I didn't make it print out in vellum. It's stitched in. Some more of that inked. That was some of the leftover that I had from after doing the feathers. Love it. There's got lots of runes in here as well. Tiny little snail down there. Love this piece of paper too. And here we have just a double pocket, well, triple pocket actually. So behind here in the pocket is this another vintage book page, Life in the Woods. It's been varnished over, inked, backed, ripped, torn, everything like that. Then a handmade tag. Again, this is vintage. This is vintage. This was actually made by my son. Not vintage. Sorry, this isn't vintage, but it's one of the pieces made by my son. I love the colours. I wanted to add it. Some wallpaper textured and an embellishment. And there's a flower cut out of that, dyed. And then right in the front here, there is a Tim Holtz vellum piece that has all trees and butterflies on, and I've just put this botanical card in there, so it kind of looks like it's part of the vellum. Look at the page, guys. I just love that. Don't you just want to walk into those woods? Or maybe it's just me. Yes, that's what I love to do. And it does look like a grove there. So I've added, this is a piece of one of the pages that I've used as a pocket, and I've added one of my own photos, and I've varnished it, stitched around it, and added just a little piece. Again, scrappy backs, love this. Oh, and I also added some actual stitching, so it's in red thread. There's just 2 lots of this. I've left the backs and everything. Yeah, I just love the look of that in there, and it picks up the red. Another vintage book page with lots of leaves. And you can actually, so this is a Tim Holtz vellum. Let me try and find something, but you can see the vellum there. But if I bring it up, you can see the leaves. So the page over it looks like this, and you can see the leaves through the vellum. So let's try and again get that. So there's the vellum, and take it away and you see the leaves. So I really, really love that. Some more hand-dyed paper. Got this acorn trim that, again, I loved because it was the green and the red. Vintage book page all about trees. So this one's all about elms, and another one of those words, someone who loves the forest. Little pocket here, but what I've done is, so I printed out the pocket and then I printed out the same thing with vellum. So I've actually put the vellum on top of the pocket itself to give it this kind of almost mist-like quality. And the printer kind of put these lines on it as well, which I really loved. And then there's another word that comes with the kit free, a little tag. Just really wanted to use scrappy bits and pieces. Again, we've got some of this paper that my son made several years ago. Another one of these feathers. In here, it's a tack spot, Tim Holtz piece of ephemera. And then another one of these beautiful envelopes that I have turned into a vellum envelope. I just love that. I thought if you put seeds and things in there, it's going to look lovely. This is an envelope. I don't know, this might come with the Goddess of the Woods kit, this one, but I'm not sure about that. And I turned that into a pocket, so we've got a tag in there with a Tim Holtz butterfly on it. And then there's actually a pocket back here as well, which I didn't put anything into. I love how the butterfly pops out, and that says Witch of the Woods. This opens up, there's writing space here, and there's the vellum envelope. And then this is another vintage book page, and it says Earth Magic, which I thought was perfect. It's all about woods. And then I've gessoed and used oxides and things on the back of it, so it can be written over. Oh gosh, get that back in there. More stenciling, more vintage book page. This actually says woodland animal. I thought the colours went well. I've used some flock paper to make a little tab on the pages. And then there's some writing space there. More hand dyed. Absolutely love this. This is like upholstery fabric. And a glass mushroom charm there. Another vintage book page with some flowers on there. Another little pocket made from the baking paper that I often use. And you can, I mean, it's coming up so much clearer on camera. You can really see the image underneath of the flower, and then a moon phase. Another Tim Holtz piece with a tab there. And then I have put one of my own leaves, try and get this so you can see it really well. Put one of my own leaves behind vellum that I've dried myself, put a specimen. It can be lifted that way. It does actually move because it is an eyelet, so it does move, but it's just a bit tough. So it does move, but it's easy to lift too. So I wanted to put that in there. There's another, so you've got all these crystals and things. I'm trying to think because I have used embossing powders and a few other bits and bobs, so I'm wondering if I've missed anything that has embossing powders. Oh well, middle of this page, look at it. It is stunning. Absolutely love it. I put one of the words down here. I want adventure in the great wide somewhere. Belle from Beauty and the Beast. I thought that was quite fitting, you know. Bellaboo. And I turned it into a pocket with another tag, which just blends so well that you can't tell straight away that it is a tag, you know, that is separate. Another vintage book page here with a Tim Holtz vellum pocket. Again, I wanted to leave it. This is, yeah, the Tim Holtz vellum. It's got some fibre up here. Just gives it a lovely texture. Some more leaves stitched on. The other side of that woodland animal one, I did a sort of weird sort of snippet roll pocket tuck here. It's one of the ephemera pieces from the kit. Be a voice, not an echo. Love it. And again, decorated. Another one of those. You can really see the glint there. Oh, it's just so beautiful. Little hedgehog. This is one of the pages I made into a pocket, a journaling card pocket. In here there is a scrappy vintage scrap paper pad, and this is flocked. There's gilding around the outside of the textured card in both a little touch of red and some gold. There's just this in here, just nice and plain, lots of journaling space. And then one of the large tags, my roots are in the depths of the wood. Oh, I just love it. Oh, it's just, yeah, it just worked perfectly, thinking about these people in the woods, worshipping and sort of taking care of all the animals. Again, some of that vintage. We've got a large tag here with this cute little snail on it. And here's the back, another one of those flowers. And then here, this is from the new Tim Holtz, one of his new die sets. And so there's real flowers in there. And again, I hand dyed all this paper with all the oxides and things. And that's acetate. And more of the paper my son made a few years back, and some more baking paper. All inked, lots of colour, lots of texture, some leaf trim. On the little, oh, so this is one of the, let's try and get it up, see if I can see it. I'm trying to see on the, it's actually, trying to see if I can get the light on it. This is embossed. I've used clear embossing on it because it's a crystal. So I used clear embossing powder on it. A journaling card. Some more of that vintage book page. Lots of writing space. Another vintage book page, but this one is quite big. So I varnished the outside of it to give it this lovely texture, and then it's all gessoed so you can still see some of the plants, and I've used all the oxides and things so you can still write over it. It actually looks brighter on camera, the inks, than it does in real life. Little pockets, some just Tim Holtz ephemera there that can go in. Turn over. Love this magic of the forest. Just beautiful kit. There's that gorgeous. And this bit, it looks like it's almost like water damage, and yet it looks so perfect. We've got a mushrooms and moon here. I don't know if you can tell, but I've actually used alcohol inks to stain them so that they've got browns, silver and green on there. Got a little Tim Holtz piece here. Some more of that vintage music paper. This opens up. This can be written on this Tim Holtz card. The sound of the wind in the trees. Another one of these little scrappy pieces, but that lifts up, so you could put something underneath, or you could gesso it or something. That's going to tuck onto there to close it up. Then in here is a long card. And again, backing. Oh, and a little wooden snail here. Fabric pocket with the leaf. This again is one of my photos, but printed onto vellum, and I'm hoping you can see, but it's actually on the back of an index card, dyed index card, so you can see some of the lines through it. Just love how that sounds. Tab, large tag. The clearest way into the universe is through a forest wilderness. Sorry guys, and yeah, this is the back of that tag. Had so much fun with textures. Cut this down to make a pocket, and then inside here is a sheet that says trees and shrubs, date and notes. It's from a vintage like gardening book, so put that in there. As you know, working with the trees, you need to sort of make notes about them. Go on, get in. And then we've got a little, this is vintage, little tab, everything. Another fabric embellishment. There's lots of like eco fabrics used in this as well. This comes with the kit. Got a vintage photo. Now it does have a road on it, but it has the trees, and it actually tells you where it is. The avenue, I think it says Porthampton maybe, or Southampton maybe. I just thought it was beautiful. It went with the colours. And one of the larger envelopes. And what I've done is I've actually left this one open and stenciled all inside. So you could write in it, you could put paper in it, you could do all sorts. So that's a double pocket there. One of the little embellishments that comes with the kit. And then a vintage book page of this absolutely gorgeous frog. I've put it onto some paper as well, lined paper stitched around it. And then it says to decorate with ivy, which I thought kind of went with it. And we're at the end now. So we've got this again, the handmade pocket with the flowers, handmade paper pocket. Got a little one of my stamp pads with leaves on it that can be used to decorate. Tim Holtz embellishment, the eggs. And then this says collect. This is actually stuck down, and another one of the mini vellum envelopes is there. Perfect for seeds and things. And again, it's gilded, and there's the back. So we're on to the second signature now. Again, more beads here. Witchcraft and tea. Look at those snails, they're amazing. Again, some more vintage music paper. This says, oh, the oak and the ash, because obviously it's all about trees, and a little tab. One of those pockets again that I have done both the paper or card and then the vellum over the top. Little tag and a piece of Tim Holtz ephemera there. More stenciling. Then on this side, I've got a little Tim Holtz mini paper clip there. Firstly, there's a large tag here. I've left it plain because I absolutely love this scrapbook paper. And the tab has some gilding on it, and you can write on the back, so that fits in. Embellishment there, and then this opens up for lots of writing space. So that just fits back on there like that. Lots of stitching, another stitched image. Some more vintage book page, and this is the Mighty Oaks of Britain, broad-leaved trees. That's the other side. These are embossed. I'm hoping the shine kind of picks up a little. I don't know if it is. There we go. These are embossed, the crystals. You can see all the leaves there. Journaling card with a crystal sticker on the back. And then one of these. I think these might come with the goddess or the forest goddess kit, the larger tags, but I use them anyway. Fabric embellishments. Double pocket here. So again, a Tim Holtz piece and some more of that beautiful scrapbook paper. This little piece that definitely comes with the goddess of the forest rather than the witch of the woods kit. More of that flocked paper for a tab. There's a little snail. I've used that little snail several places. Another tag, some more leaves. Just love how that looks. These are vintage book pages as well, and this is all about corresponding influences. So it's on about the day with the planet and herb and what quality and things like that. And then this is a pocket. And we've just got this plain vintage book page with some owls because, you know, they're out looking in the forest. And this is some eco-dyed envelope. It's still a bit sticky there, so that's on there. And in there is an eco-dyed journaling card. I mean, look at the leaves on there, guys. I didn't eco-dye this. That's something I really need to be able to do this year. But I wanted to use it. Just look at the leaves on there. I wanted to use it in here. And some more stitching here, but this one's lines. You can see it's done this thick red embroidery thread, and I've left the tail on there. More vintage book page. There's that little snail again. Fabric pocket, and in here is another scrappy paper pad with a mix of vintage and just random bits and pieces in there, which is really good fun to use. Trying to think, because I'm sure, hold on, I'm sure there was a thing back here. I'm trying to find it. There is some. Hopefully it comes across soon. Another page. I put the old oak on there. That was on the words. Oh, look at this. That's all the parchment paper, but there's glimmer on there. There's all sorts of paint. It's just beautiful and sounds great. Some more Tim Holtz vellum. And a vintage postcard that's all written on the back. Again, I know there's a house there, but you've got all these beautiful trees. Kind of reminds me of a temple. Tim Holtz charm that says peace, because what's more peaceful than forest bathing? More vintage book page. Another one of those feathers that I made with like all sorts on it. And some more. I really loved using the parchment in this time. A vintage book page with a bird, and just down here it's got a number. I like the way that blends in, a bit like the birds are blending with the trees. And you can write on the back. Some green hand dyed paper. This is a little pocket with some tickets that, yes, are backed. This is a larger, I think this is for the goddess of the forest as well. Beautiful. Just look at the detail on there, guys. Just Priscilla's work is always outstanding. It's just, you know, and this is some paper that I recently picked up. It's slightly textured. I loved the stuff around the edge, so I ripped it and inked it, and that fits in there with the red. Some more vintage book page. This has got bats and an owl and everything on, because obviously, oh, this mushroom, guys, this mushroom glows in the dark. So if you keep this and give it some light for like 10-20 minutes and then take it somewhere where it's completely dark, this will glow, just to let you know. Super excited about that. Another little card. Again, this might come with the Goddess of the Forest, but I just loved it. Used one of the snippet words, another butterfly there, amethyst sticker down there. So yeah, this actually glows in the dark, guys. Yeah, super excited. Some eco-dyed paper here with, again, a different kind of acorn trim. This one's just green, but I love how the brown can really show through there. More vintage book page. It says in the deep dark woods there. This is a little vellum pocket. I've indented, you might not be able to see, but I've indented like a semicircle there, so you know it's a pocket. It's actually a double pocket, so you can put something behind and inside. And we have this little tag in there. But I didn't want to cut it out. I just wanted to indent it. I like the way that looked. On this side, we've got a tag in here. Love this image. You can see some of the red gilding there. Just love it. Love it, love it, love it. Used a vellum label here. So you can see right through it, but you can write on it. Wanted to add a lot of different textures to this. Another large tag. The trees will tell their secrets to those who tune in. Yes, they will. This is all fluffy and it's all like rust dyed, and here's the back of it, and oh, it's just delicious. More vintage book page. This has a slight flocking to it as well, so this is a belly band, and I used some of the negative cutouts. I've done this on an altered book I was working on, and I loved the effect. So it's all the inking that I did, and then I cut out these flowers and have used them, and then I've backed it onto some parchment that's got different inks and things that I've used as well, but then backed it again on some handwritten paper, some hand-dyed paper, so you can write on it, guys. A little embellishment, but it just gives you this lovely kind of textured look. And again, they'd have to use up. You're not going to waste, are you, if you're in the forest? We've got an altered paper clip charm here with a green glass mushroom this time. Some cork there and a little leaf. Some fabric wrapped around. Wooden embellishment there. This is the middle of this page with all the runes. It's just beautiful. Oh, just beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. Here, this is flocking as well. Some more of that scrapbook paper, and it opens up just for lots of writing space. It tucks in there, but this actually comes away because it's a magnetized CD case sleeve. It says broad-leaved woodland. I've obviously collaged all over the front, and in here, firstly, oh gosh, got to get it now. When I take it out, you can see some vintage book page behind, and this is actually a picture from one of the vintage book pages. This is where the broadleaf, it was another one of those pages, so I wanted to use that too. Just love it. And look at the bubbling on there. Sometimes you just do things and you don't know how you do them, and it's like, oh, I wish I could do it again like that. So that fits in there. It magnetizes over the page, and it holds this in place like that. Another large vellum pocket. There's nothing in here. Let me just get a little tag. There's nothing in here. It's another Tim Holtz vellum like that. This opens up, there's nothing in here, and then this is from a vintage book page too. So much vintage book pages used in here, guys. Leaves, and another charm. Loved this one. I hope you can see it's a snail with mushrooms on the back. It worked perfectly for this kit, and again, I've used alcohol inks in it. Vintage book page. These come, I think, with the kit or with Forest of the Goddess, so like photo sleeves. I've put some vintage book page behind, some Edith Holden. Then I've put some dried flowers in. So it's actually a double pocket. There's a very tight one back there, and then there's this one here. And this is a ticket stamped on handmade papers. And I just thought that went in there so beautifully and just looks so nice. Some more Eco Dye paper. Got a double pocket here. These are embossed again. Got this. Some more gilding on that tab. There's the back of it. Long tag. As I said, she's got Priscilla's got about two Witch of the Woods kits out, and then the Goddess of the Forest mega bundle, and I've used both in here. Sheltered by trees, love that. And there's the other side, that beautiful page with those badgers. Don't see enough badgers and hedgehogs anymore. Altered envelope here. Opens up, lots of writing space, stitched moon phases. And again, there's a pocket up the top here that has nothing in it because this was already chunky. But yeah, there's a pocket up here. Vintage book page, scrapbook paper, vintage Edith Holden, Tim Holtz, wallpaper and flower on there. So lots going on there. Another double pocket here. And that I left that because I loved it because it says trees in Britain. That's part of that vintage book page there. This was a little ticket, and then I've put one of those flowers that I've used the negative space on in there. It just tucks in, so it's beneath the trees. And then this is another, it's part of a vintage book page. Again, I've varnished it, stitched around it so you can write on the back. Little ephemera piece. I love this because it's all the different berries and things and little birds. There's mistletoe on there and all sorts. I just thought it was lovely. Another fabric embellishment. I think that's a vintage button there. Music paper pocket here. So there's an embellishment on here. This is vintage. This is vintage. There's some more vintage book paper back there. Another embellishment, wax embellishment there. It's magnetized. Inside there is a tea dyed index card and another one of these beautiful envelopes that I have, I'm really hoping it's picking up, that I have printed on vellum that you can use. And then in the back pocket here is the other, what are they called? File folders. Why won't my words come today, guys? That's what it looks like inside. So I've left this blank because there might be something I want to write about on there. So, and that's on the other side of more of this beautiful parchment that also has some mica powders on it. It's that gorgeous wolf. Lots and lots of stitching. Moon phase charm here, which again I've used a little bit of red and a little bit of green alcohol ink on. Lots of threads. This I think comes with the Goddess of the Wood mega bundle, Goddess of the Forest. This is part of the vintage. It's the bottom bit of that page that goes with the top, that one. And so I've made that into a tuck spot. Used this and then this little card again. Little tab there. Inside the pocket I just put some of this beautiful paper because sometimes that's all you need. It's decorative enough. It's just beautiful. Hopefully that good. Right, I'll leave it like that. And then we've got a double pocket here. So got some of that handmade paper, another one of my feathers that I've inked, some little Tim Holtz bits. Got a few bits and pieces here, tags, and this one that I've put the Into the Woods with. There is a snail somewhere. Oh, we're coming up to it. This is from a vintage book as well. I do believe these are elderberries because they look like the ones I've got in my garden. And this is a vintage card, and it's part of the Trees in Britain series that came with tea, Brook Bond tea. So that goes in there. Again, another vintage page. This one has the different runes on it. So I thought that was useful because obviously there's runes in this. There's writing here. And another vintage Tree of the Woods. This one is English Elm. And I've put an elm page in here. Tim Holtz Butterfly as a pocket. Yeah, you've got the names of the different runes and the basics of what they mean. And there's an acrylic leaf, little green leaf here that catches the light really beautifully. This snail also has in these ridges has some glow in the dark embossing powder on it. So again, you can see the snail in the dark. Oh, it's tickled me so much, guys. I can't wait to use it more. And these berries are all embossed. It says The Great Outdoors. Got a large tag here with this beautiful person on it, and tab up there. And here's the back. Again, these are vintage and a few other bits. And this is packing paper that I've used on the back of there. I just thought they would have picked up bits and bobs as they were out in the woods, just little bits and bobs, leaves that they dried, all that kind of thing. To wander longingly through the forest in search of mystery. Yes, please. That's how I like to spend my day. Another large baking paper pocket here with all my inks and stuff on it. Then there's 2 scrapbook paper pockets here. And I've used that beautiful scrapbook paper that I love. They actually match up, or they're supposed to, this way around. Yeah, they match up. And you can write on the back of those. I'm just going to leave those there. This, another wax seal that I've used gilding on. This is another vintage book page that I've Mod Podged, left a bit ripped and torn, inked. And on the back, it's all gessoed and has all these ink splodges. I loved it because it kind of gave it like water damage or moss damage, because they are out in the woods, but it's not actual damage. You can write on it. Under the trees, there's the rest of that vintage music paper, some more die cuts, another one of the little snails, and here's the back with another snail. Oh, and at the back here, so I've used the fabric. Oh gosh, I just love it. I've used the fabric that I've used on the cover, and inside it is actually a little pocket, and there's some more paper, writing paper in here, but it is a little hidden pocket that really you can't tell it's there. Because it just looks the exact same both sides, and I haven't stitched around it. So yeah, and it's all held together with twine, so it does give the cover this kind of little bumpy look, but I don't mind that. Yeah, lots of beads, lots of fabric, lots of inks, lots of texture. I've used corrugated card on the spine. Again, I used this on another journal that I really liked, and I've used all the different distressing inks. There's some of the patina green. I've squished it to give it a real kind of, it looks like bark, because I wanted to use real bark, but it didn't work. So yeah, there's all this on the side, and it just, oh, guys, this journal's so full of sound and texture and just deliciousness. So anyway, I will leave the links, as I said, to Priscilla, to their Etsy shop down below, where you can find the 2 parts of The Witch in the Woods. You can find the Goddess of the Forest mega bundle, which I used alongside the design team kit this month, as well as the word snippets, which we all know I love to use Priscilla's word snippets in all my journals. And these are a new format, so they're a bit easier to cut if you like things with straighter lines and stuff. And yeah, this journal will be in my shop, Nemi, named after the goddess of the sacred groves. And like I said, the inspiration for this was those who follow Nemetona. She's quite an ancient Celtic goddess, and they follow her and they worship her by making sure they take care of the forest, all the animals, all the plants, everything in it, right down to the tiniest little snail. Get it? Get it? Because I've used little snails throughout. Lots of embossing. I've probably even forgotten where some of the embossed pieces are, so I've used clear embossing. And then, yeah, there's a few little sneaky bits with that glow-in-the-dark embossing powder, guys. So, yeah, go and check it out. I will leave the links to my shop down below as well, and I really hope you loved this flip through. This journal is so delicious to hold. I mean, I always love my journals, because otherwise why would you make them? But this one has so much deliciousness in it, and I really love how it's all come together. So I hope you do too. If you enjoyed this video, please click click the like button. It really does help. If you aren't subscribed but would like to be, please hit that subscribe button too, and don't forget the bell. And I will be back again soon. Thank you so much for watching, guys, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're having lots of crafty fun. Bye for now.